Hey, y'all, let's put on some socks and let's go somewhere. How often do we martin things up? We get super excited, but we tend to worry. We worry about other people's happiness around us. Sometimes we just want that now experience. Well, many of us know Martin Harris, the man who lost the 116 pages, but Martin Harris should be honored and noticed for many other positive reasons. President Dallin H. Oaks said, one of Martin Harris's greatest contributions to the church, for which he should be honored for all time, was his financing the publication of the Book of Mormon. So let's put on some socks and let's get the Book of Mormon printed. It's the summer of 1829, and Joseph Smith is looking for a company to print the Book of Mormon. He goes to his hometown there in Palmyra, and he approaches a new businessman, E.B. Grandin, and says, hey, I want to get this Book of Mormon printed. Well, he turned it down. So Joseph Smith went to the surrounding areas and asked him, finally worked out a deal with a guy in Rochester, New York. Well, before he moved forward with that deal, he approached E.B. Grandin again in his hometown and said, hey, the Book of Mormon is getting printed. We would love for you to do it. And E.B. Grandin eventually agreed to the deal, but wanted the money up front. Joseph Smith wanted 5,000 copies of the Book of Mormon, and it would cost $3,000 in the year of 1829, 1830. Joseph Smith didn't have the money. And that $3,000 in today's money in 2021 equals little over $85,000. Well, Joseph Smith asks his friend, Martin Harris, who was a well-known, successful businessman, farmer in Wayne County, Palmyra, New York. Martin Harris agreed. He financed the Book of Mormon. He put 150 acres of his own farmland up for collateral. His wife didn't like it. Many people in the community didn't think it was a really smart decision. And as time went on, and these Book of Mormons were hot off the press, they didn't sell too well in Palmyra. Martin Harris was super excited, but at the same time, he started getting worried, anxious that he would lose his farm, and rightfully so. He was a great businessman who worked super hard all these years, and he felt like he was getting ready to lose it all. He approached Joseph Smith and said, Joseph, I need a commandment. Later on that night, Martin Harris went to bed, went to sleep, had a dream of this big old dog just jumping all over him, waking up from that nightmare, learning that his reality was worse than his dream. He was just super worried. Later on that evening, Joseph Smith receives a revelation for Martin Harris, Doctrine and Covenants, section 19, and Oliver Cowdery served as a scribe. Doctrine and Covenants, section 19 is a beautiful text about the atonement of Jesus Christ. In section 19, verse 35, it is aimed towards Martin Harris, which says, pay the debt thou hast contracted with the printer. Release thyself from bondage. Martin Harris knew Joseph Smith very well. He knew when the young farm boy was speaking versus the prophet Joseph Smith speaking. And after section 19 was received and given to Martin Harris, he was comforted. He repented and he began to have stronger faith, and his testimony grew. How often do we martin things up? We get super excited in the work, but we tend to worry and sometimes try to please everybody around us and want that now experience. How often do we, within our callings in the church, try to magnify them, try to minister to one another? And sometimes we want to see the results now. Therefore, Martin Harris was partially right. The Book of Mormon did not sell well in Palmyra, New York. It wasn't a big hit to begin with, but as time moved on, it became a super big hit. It changed many people's lives. And if you ask some people, it is the #1 bestseller in their personal testimony library. Book of Mormon has changed many lives globally. The Book of Mormon is printed in many languages today and all around the world. Dr. Greg Prince, who's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and who wrote many books, counting the beautiful biography of President David O. McKay, he asks 3 questions to converts about the Book of Mormon. Number 1, did you read the Book of Mormon cover to cover? The answer is generally no. 2, what's the content of the Book of Mormon? The answer is generally, well, it's a lot of wars, stuff like that. And 3, what did you experience? That's the answer that goes on forever. The Book of Mormon gives you great spiritual experiences and uplifts you and strengthens your testimony of the atonement of Jesus Christ. Today, I think a lot of us are like Martin Harris. Sometimes we just Martin things up. We get super excited about the gospel of Jesus Christ, but we too have our worries about how, when, why, what, this, that. But as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we are promised to have the Spirit, the companionship of the Holy Ghost. In verse 38, it says, "Pray always, and I will pour out my Spirit upon you."